This would be a good time to ingest some extra caffeine. Late night adventures on the gridiron, and we all know anything can happen when you kick off after dark. Welcome everyone to Palo Alto, California, the farm and the home of the Stanford Cardinal. As we'll see a squad from the ACC, the Florida State Seminoles, taking on another team from the ACC, the Stanford Cardinal. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth, as always, by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's tee this one up. Stanford about to tee it up to get this one going. The returner will field it and bring it back. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. So Florida State's offense will start this game off with the football. Every team has impact players. What traits are you looking for when it comes to players who can make an impact, David?
Well, obviously, you want the main things, right? Speed, physicality, like all power, all those things are really, really good. But you also need guys that will hold people accountable, guys that will lead. And it's nice to have those guys on your team. They're the leaders of the team, and they're the best players.
And part of the reason why they're leaders is because these guys galvanize their teammates, right? We've seen time and time again, these dudes make plays, and it just sparks the sideline. It sparks the coaching staff. It sparks the fans. They're special players, and they all have to play well today.
The play action fake. Grabbed in the backfield. It's Davis. And he's almost to that first down marker there, saying he's a little bit short. They might want to bring out the sticks and measure, but it looks as if he'll be just short of the first down. The Seminoles lining up, just needing a few tough inches on third down. They'll try to sneak it. The Seminoles getting set on 1st and 10. Quarterback on the keeper. What about that move to pick up a few extra yards to the 35?
Yeah, and it's so hard to contain this guy with all those options he has and the experience at the quarterback spot. But nice job by the defense limiting the damage. Didn't give up a huge gain.
After a good pickup on the run, it's 2nd down. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
It's hard to run on a defense that comes off the ball like that and runs to the football like that. Good luck. No holes anywhere.
These are the types of plays where offenses impose their will. 3rd and short from the 45. Looking to throw, it's Castellanos. He's going to let one fly down the middle. Intercepted, and the first drive ends with a pick. Didn't really get a chance to get started on that return, but he has set him up at the 41-yard line. Use the play fake, now to throw. Rushes on him. Going to try to get it himself. Only a short gain on that run. Defense played it well.
Well, you're making a positive out of a negative. And that time, quarterback, nice job buying time. He's trying to throw the football downfield. Nothing there, so instead of throwing it away and getting the incomplete, just get what you can get and make this next down more manageable.
Try to make up for some of that lost ground on 2nd down. Looking to fire. Here's the pressure. Oh, and he got drilled as he just got rid of the football.
This offensive line's got to do a better job. I mean, he doesn't even have time to go through his progressions. You got to give your QB some time. You got to make him feel comfortable. They didn't. They got in there quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Stanford to the line on 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Shoots it to the left. It's caught downfield. He'll go out of bounds right at the 30-yard line. A big play as this offense in business.
Well, after getting that takeaway, this offense is needing some points, and that's a big completion there on 3rd down. Good job reading the coverage. The offense is going to stay on the field. They want to keep this momentum going, and that last completion, that was big.
Power football with the run. Past the 1st down marker and still running. And he's brought down after a nice gain.
1st down, physicality wins football games. Being able to run the football and create balance. And right here, just choose up another 1st down. Gives you another chance to maybe continue to run the football.
And I feel like this guy, too, is just an explosive play waiting to happen. His vision, his quickness, and he's got a burst. If you give this guy just a crease, he's going to hit it. And right now, he's doing some damage on this deep.
Pulls it in the end zone. Touchdown, Stanford!
And it's so underrated. The relationship between a QB and a wide receiver, the timing, the ability to know where he's going to be and be accurate with the football, that's what leads to nice touchdowns, Jesse.
Well, and the chemistry between these two guys has to be great when you're throwing into the end zone because coverage is going to be tight. The throw might not be perfect, but this is something these two guys have been repping in practice over and over and over, and it's paying dividends now in game.
Getting ready for the extra point after the first score of the game. And with the extra point, they get the first 7 of the game. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. And they finish it up with a 15-yard scoring toss. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And he takes this from inside the 5. Excellent job by the kick coverage team. A pretty minimal gain on that return. Opening play of this drive comes from the 13-yard line. Off-play action on 1st down. Snagged in the middle. It's White. Now they've got a little room to work with. They're out to the 28 with a 1st down. Nothing too surprising about seeing the Seminoles being productive in the passing game.
Man, we can think back, Reese, to so many great offenses for Florida State, whether it's Charlie Ward or Chris Winkie, whoever it is, the trigger man being really, really good is the start of a great Florida State team.
Caught in the backfield, it's Robinson. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
In defense, you have to have great eyes. You have to have good vision on the quarterback to be able to see it. You could tell he's throwing the football right now. Watch the defense react, come up, get the wide receiver on the ground. He goes nowhere.
Backed up now. Here's 2nd and long. Caught in the backfield. It's Thomas. The defense wouldn't let him loose, and even though it's a completion, they lost yardage. We've reached a break, and it is Stanford holding the lead. 1 period in the books, and let's take a look at the stats. Heading in the opposite directions now as we crank it up in the 2nd. So they had a chance to talk over this 3rd down play to open the period. Just keeps slinging it. Unloads to the wideout. Finds a man on the left. Into enemy territory and out of bounds at the 48.
Defense just didn't have an answer there on the slant throw. Once the completion was made, they just couldn't get to the ball carrier and get him down on the ground.
And the Noles are flying down the field. He'll do it himself. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
Nice job by this defense, stringing along the option, not letting him make a decision right away, and that's why they could corral to the football, get him on the ground, and make sure that option didn't get a big gain.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. From the gun, the ground game. And they'll bring him down after a short pickup.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
Third down, and they'll need to get the ball to the 38-yard line. To the air, it's Castellanos. Safe completion on the screen. Spins away from the defender. Now they're really starting to threaten as they pick up the first down at the 34-yard line. That was just a perfectly choreographed screen. The line got out on time. The running back had a wall in front of it.
And I think the quarterback did a really good job of selling pass and then kind of dodging the pass rush, getting it to the running back, and then let him do the rest. You got him in space, he'll pick up yards in a hurry.
Fires to the tight end. And the defense stops him just short of the first down. Maybe needed a few more chain links to move the sticks.
Nice quick throw there. It's so important for quarterbacks to be able to find a rhythm and to be comfortable and confident. You want to just get the ball out quickly, make it an accurate and easy throw. And you can tell that these two guys, they rep that play in practice all the time, and it's now showing up here on game day.
Fires to the big fella. And he goes out of bounds after coming up with positive yardage there.
Important in the passing game that it's not just receivers doing all the work. You got to get running backs involved. You got to get your big fellas. You got to get the tight ends going too.
And the Seminoles didn't start this drive with great field position, but they have moved methodically down the field. They'll run the option. And maybe a wise move not to even try the pitch as he's knocked down in the backfield.
Phenomenal job by the defense that time, shutting down the option play. They knew they were going to see this in this game, and all week long in practice, they really focused on this assignment football, making sure the dive, the quarterback, the pitch, all taken away. Nowhere to go with the football that time offensively. The defense coming up with a huge negative play.
Quickly out to the tight end. He hauled that one in and got it down to the 15-yard line. Down to 2 minutes to play. We'll take the timeout. They'll talk it over, a chance to tie or even take the lead before the break. The Noles come to the line on third and short, looking to keep this drive moving. Looking to pass. It's Castellanos. And the incomplete pass will bring up fourth down.
Well, on third and short and field goal range, they dial up the pass play. Quarterback was trying to get through his progressions. There was just simply nobody open. Couldn't make an accurate enough throw. Ball falls incomplete. Now setting up a big decision here on fourth down.
And the field goal unit will stay put as the head coach decides to go for it on fourth down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Here's a heat. Makes a grab past the marker. They make the stop at the 5-yard line, but they've got it first and goal.
Well, it's a heck with being conservative, right? I mean, that essentially would have just been a chip shot field goal with where they were on that fourth down, but they decide to go for it, throw it. They're looking for 6. They're going for a touchdown. They are being aggressive.
Timeout called here by the defense. It's the first one they've used this half. A little wrinkle here as they go to the Wildcat and use the extra blocker. Motion from the back. On the direct snap, it's White. And this Wildcat is going to be declawed, stopped in the backfield. The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page. Can the D deny them on second and goal? Back to pass. He's got it on the move. That throw and catch gets them down to the 6, and the defense is running out of answers.
Nice job by the defense, forcing the third and goal. You can't allow any run after catch in these situations. Play aggressive, play tight, and play physical.
The safe call on the wide receiver screen. And that was a high percentage completion and a low efficiency pass. They lose yardage.
Third down is money down. You got to find a way to execute and get the ball out, get it to your playmakers. That was the opposite of that. They got it to their playmakers, and they got absolutely nowhere. Lost yards on the play. Fourth down now upcoming.
And that is no good. After that miss, still a 7-point game, guys.
And that's frustrating. I mean, you put a drive together, you're in scoring zone. Like, this is a green zone. You should be making all of these kicks, these short field goals, the chip shots. Kickers have to come through. They got to do their job.
Handoff from the gun. And he's stuffed by that big defensive tackle up front.
That back had absolutely nowhere to run the football. Actually, is he counting? I think he's counting to make sure there's only 11 guys on defense.
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Brown will throw it. Snagged out of the air. And the defense doesn't let him get loose, and that's going to wrap things up here in the half. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update.
Guys, after seeing that, sign me up for another 2 quarters there in Palo Alto. And a lot of coaches will say limiting the big plays and maybe hitting on a few yourself is key. But I'm more of a move the chains guy. Give me efficiency every day of the week and twice on Saturday. The offensive unit that subscribes to the less is more philosophy might be the one that leaves here today with a big fat W. With that said, let's send it back to the guys on the farm.
And the Seminoles will kick it off to start the second half. Fielded in the end zone. It's Ford. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Stanford has it back. The Cardinal offense returning to the field. Off the play fake on first down to throw. Got a man. It's Ford.
This defense is going to have to be careful. Not only do they have to worry about this guy running the football, but they've got to keep their eye on him when he runs routes, too. He is a versatile back.
Stanford with a lot of options here on 2nd and short. He'll pull it on the read. He gets the job done, picking up the first down, then getting down.
And I love that decision by this quarterback. No monkeying around, man. Get to the spot, get the first down, lower your shoulder. I don't need a big play. I just want another set of downs. Nice job running the option, knowing where the first down marker is.
And they'll line up from the 31 on first down. Going to the ground. Can't get him to the ground. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
And if this defense wants to get back in the football game, they've got to match the physicality of this offense. And that's a great start here in the second half. Like coming out, not letting them run the football, being the more physical and more aggressive team.
The Cardinal increasing the degree of difficulty after that last play. It's 2nd and long. Brown wants to pass. Complete in the middle. How about this senior picking up some yardage and making a nice play on that one?
And that's why the bullet pass is so important. Sometimes these defenses, they don't give you big windows to throw into, and you want to take that chance, but you cannot lob that football down the field and get it in there. Nice use of the bullet pass, my friend.
This Stanford offense is humming, set up with another first down. Use the play fake, now to throw. Takes a hit as he fires.
I don't know about the decision that time by the quarterback. He may have been expecting man coverage, but that time the defense was in zone, and they did a really nice job closing the window. The intended target was not open, and that's why that one fell incomplete.
Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. Couldn't connect on first down, now back to the air. Here comes the heat. And the quarterback will be slung down back at the 43.
This game really has turned into a defensive struggle, and both defenses right now are just absolutely dominating. That time, nice job using his pass rush moves, getting to the quarterback, and they just look like they cannot be blocked right now up front.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, hoping to throw beyond the sticks. Deep shot for the end zone. And good coverage there to knock it away and deny the score.
And this offense is just, they've struggled to get in a rhythm. And I like they take a shot down the field, but interested to see how they can maybe get some easy completions for this quarterback and get him in a little bit of a rhythm.
Stanford lines up to punt it away. First time today we've seen a punter go to work. He makes the fair catch, and they'll spot the ball at the 18. Okay, guys, the Florida State offense returns to the field. They haven't really been able to light up this scoreboard, but putting points up would be huge here. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
And this offense on 1st down, man, they go backwards. And they've built a deficit, and they've been sluggish. And they just need something to get going, to get started, because they've kind of looked out of sorts and out of rhythm this whole game.
A negative play to open the drive. Let's see what they've got on 2nd and 14. Dropping back, it's Castellanos. It's complete to the right. Didn't pick up a lot there, moved it forward just a few. They were able to get the ball to the running back in space, but that space just evaporated.
And a great job by the defense, man. It's tough to get those guys on the ground. They're so used to having the football as running backs and making plays and being dynamic. So usually one guy not going to get him to the ground. You want many guys swarming to the football, trying to get that elusive guy on the ground.
Oh, better look out! Oh, he's got some space. That one could really put this drive into high gear as they have a 1st down at the 37.
And usually when a QB takes off and scrambles, it's because the defense didn't do a great job keeping lane integrity, not keeping him in the pocket, letting him get outside, and then he can do damage. Then it's the next play that you have to play instead of this just the original pass. So defense has got to do a better job of keeping that guy in the pocket.
And a nice run there before the defense finally makes the stop.
Coaches always harp about staying ahead of the chains, and when you can run with that type of efficiency on 1st down, man, you are doing just that.
The Seminoles with myriad options after that big pickup on 1st down. He'll try it again. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
Well, this running back has been the only guy, obviously, who's touched the ball these first 2 plays. He's looked pretty good. I think it's safe to say everybody in the stadium here on 3rd down expecting him to get the ball again.
They'll turn to the Wildcat to keep this drive alive. On the direct snap, it's Castellanos. They make the stop, but not before the chains move and the Wildcat formation pays off. At the end of the quarter, it is Stanford holding the edge. They've built a cushion, they've got a nice lead. Now the task is finish the deal as you take a look at the 3rd quarter stats. Here comes the 4th. Time to see who steps up, who makes the winning plays to take home that W. They go back to work in the final period of this one. They'll leave it with him. Got enough for the 1st down and wants more. And a really nice run and pickup there before the defense avoided disaster and stopped the really big play. Most important part of a clutch drive, piece together some 1st downs, get in position, and here they are on 1st and 10. To the ground, he's got it again. And this one will be stopped for no gain.
Well, this running back has struggled to find anywhere to go, and I think one reason why is this linebacker and his speed. He did a great job there identifying where the ball was going to go. He didn't let anybody block him. Made his way to the running back and got him on the ground. Nice job.
The lost yardage leaves him with 2nd and 11. To the air, it's Castellanos. Fires left. It's complete. They get him corralled, but not until he's in the red zone. They'll mark it at the 14.
And, man, this offense needed that. They've got to get it going. That clock is ticking. They've got 0 points on the game. They've got to put a couple of plays together. There's play number 1. Let's see if they can get a streak going, get down the field, and put some points on the scoreboard.
Off the RPO, complete. Crisp execution in the passing game, and they've got it down to the 3.
And that's why QBs love their tight ends so much, right? Especially when they're athletic, because they make short throws turn into long gains. Because of his ability after the catch, it's so unique and special. He is dominant in this offense.
And guys, if they can somehow, some way find their way into the end zone, we'll have a tie game in the 4th. He's got it down to the 1-yard line, right on the doorstep of Pater. Looking for just 1 more yard. It's 2nd and goal. Well, jet sweep pass. Into the house. Touchdown, Florida State.
Florida State. Number 4 with the carry.
Looking for the tie with the extra point. And the extra point was good, and we are all tied up in the 4th. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Good job by the coverage unit to put a stop to that return. The Stanford offense making its way back onto the field. Another opportunity here. They had to punt it on their last possession, but this time tight game, hoping to get something on the board.
Again, this is a running back that can hurt you running it between the tackles, and he's dangerous out in space. They like to throw it to him out on the perimeter as he picks up a couple of yards there.
The Cardinal can be aggressive here on 2nd and short. Brown will throw it. Get it out on the screen. He'll get it up to about the 32-yard line before he stopped, and it'll be 1st down. That is a time-honored way to slow down the rush, hit him with the screen, and a chunk play.
Yeah, such a great job because you're flying up the field to get to the quarterback because everything looks like pass down the field. Let those guys get up the field, throw it right behind him. He does a little bit of the rest, making some moves, getting upfield, making the big play.
Looking to throw on 1st down. The sure hands, it's Ford. He'll be forced out of bounds. They'll mark him down at the 44-yard line, and this offense has it going.
Yeah, and I think you've just seen how the quarterback has so much confidence in this guy catching the ball too, right? Receivers aren't open, tight ends aren't open. He knows he can find him running out of the backfield, or if he lines up at wide receiver, this dude can get open, and he can make positive things happen after he has the ball.
Wants to go up top on 1st down. Finds the tight end. Turning it on! Oh, and the defense in chase mode, and they finally get him down at the 35. Really good job working through his progression. You get it to him quickly, and the big tight end has a chance to run a little.
And a really good job by the QB throwing an accurate throw. I got to hit those guys on the move, on the run, so they can do this. They can catch the football, get upfield, and chew up some extra yards.
Stanford going back to work with another first down. The give to the running back from the shotgun. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage.
And if you listen carefully, you can start to hear some of the boo birds coming out from this home crowd. They know their offense needs points, and this late in the game, they're watching them run the ball to no avail.
Got stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10. Brown wants to pass. Firing to the right, complete. Referee signals timeout as the defense wanting to make sure that they have everything just right with a big play coming. Kick the field goal from here. It's a 51-yarder. Get a few on 3rd down, and life is much better. From the gun, wants to pass. Bringing the heat. Finds his man. It's 4. Goes out of bounds, but not before he gets it to the edge of the red zone right at the 20.
Nice job by the QB. It's 3rd down. It's money down. I'm looking to throw the ball down the field. What's open? My running back. Find him, hit him, let him do the rest. Good job.
The Cardinal, once feeling the shadow of that goalpost, now have moved it up, putting a drive together. Off the play fake on first down. He's got his man across the middle. They're able to keep him out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 2 after the big play in the passing game. Quick timeout by the defense there, trying to make sure everyone has the same call. It's 1st and goal as Stanford comes to the line. Touchdown, Cardinal! And inside a minute to go, they've got the lead.
And how about this offense, man? They knew they needed to execute. Great play calling, great drive. Put it together. Now you got a chance to go up by 7 late in this ball game, and then let your defense go on the field and seal it for them.
Ready to try the point after.
On for the extra point.
The extra point is good, and now in the 4th, they're up by a touchdown and an extra point. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. He'll start the return inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. This drive will start from the 19-yard line. Looking downfield, it's Castellanos. Fires to the big fella.
And that is perfect job by this defense. Like, you can give up those little small gains all the way down the field. The clock is your friend. You don't want to give up big plays. Don't want to give up those first downs, and just make that clock run.
No time to waste here. They've got to get set and pick up chunk yardage. 2nd down, they'll go to the air. And the pressure will get there. The sack. Down he goes in the waiting moments. That could be a costly play. Now 3rd and long, and trying to play catch-up in more ways than one after that earlier sack. From the gun, wants to pass. Got him downfield. He'll make a play on 3rd down. He's got enough for the first as they mark it at the 32.
Man, this quarterback is going to have to be deadly accurate here in this 2-minute situation, right? And that's really what he's had to be all game long. He hasn't had a lot of yards because the coverage has just been so tight. He's had to be pinpoint perfect. It's been hard just to find completions, and no doubt that's going to be the same thing here in this 2-minute drive.
Makes the grab. It's Williams. Makes the grab, but not quite enough for the first down, but a good gain on that play.